Right everyone, are you ready to begin? Let's go ahead now and get into the kind of main part of sculpting this likeness now, okay? There's no time like the present, so hopefully what you've done is you found your muse, hopefully you found the 4 golden angles, that's the front, side and both sides 3/4 worth of the face, okay? If you're not sure what that is, there's a reminder there for you. So there's my muse, Katie McGrath, and there's all the front, left, 3/4 on the left, 3/4 from the right. Everything good to go there. Okay, so it's handy just to have this in like a pure ref window here, just for you to kind of work from and what have you. Okay, so I'm going to right click and make sure that this is on always on top, which it is. That's fantastic. And I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to start with the front a little bit, okay, but I'm actually going to use the reference behind me just a tinge little bit more. Okay, so a couple of things that we can do before we kind of say goodbye to the references in the back here is that we can kind of use it just to ballpark where some of the features are, in particular where the eyelids are. Now generally speaking, I've noticed for myself is that when I tend to make characters, I'll just get rid of this for now, I tend to make characters that have very thin eyelid spaces. Okay, so the eyelid kind of brow crease there's usually pretty close to the eyelids or the tops of the eyelids there. I don't know, that's just something I've noticed, but for Katie McGrath here you see we've got quite a bit of space there and it's not being represented accurately here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll zoom in, just make sure you're in orthographic mode. Okay, and what we're going to do is just carefully mask, and if you'd like you can turn it off, fill mode all the way off, and then you can just mask out the eyebrow, the eyelid area there. Okay, now just as a forewarning before we do anything else, but I would not Z remesh this head, so to speak, because there's specific topology that you want to keep when it comes to face, and if you Z remesh it, ZBrush has never done a very good job of keeping face topology intact. Okay, so I would advise against Z remeshing it. But anyway, once you've gone ahead and masked that out, go ahead to increase that fill mode again. Oh, yep, there we go. And we're just going to use the move tool. Okay, there it is, and we're just we may as well mask off the bottom as well in case we pull on the bottom by accident. Okay, we're just going to use the move tool now. Just going to pull that sort of brow area, if I can see what's sort of going on. Pull that sort of, oh dear me, what's going on with ZBrush here? Okay, now it's working. If I'm just going to pull that brow area up ever so slightly to match what's going on there, you can sort of see there, that's just putting it in line a little bit with Katie McGrath's sort of eyelid line there, so it's quite high up. Okay, she's got quite a happy looking expression on her face rather than a stern looking expression. Okay, and then of course you can sort of, we did with the nose earlier, but here I'm just going to pull these areas down a little bit lower here just to kind of match that front reference a little bit more. Okay, fabulous. Right, well, I say that's about all we can do, but I think if we turn on local symmetry, okay, let's just have a look at the jawline here. Where is that jaw? We just need to confirm that. Enhance factor. Yes, it could do with just rounding out a little bit there. So let's just smooth that out there. There you go. That's a bit round. That's a bit more of the kind of shape we'd be expecting there. And as you can see there, you might just be able to see very close there, but the kind of tear ducts are slightly off, so we can also modify them slightly. So let's get rid of the mask we've got applied there, and we'll just move the tear ducts up slightly. Again, sometimes symmetry can be of aid to you, but probably most of the time during this process, well, actually maybe most of the time during this process it will be of help, but there'll be times when you've got to be careful where it actually will probably end up hindering you rather than helping you. Okay, fabulous. Right, that's about all we can do. Oh, I think we can just lower the nostrils down a little bit. That would be from when I didn't have symmetry activated the other time. Again, just be careful of that. Okay, fabulous. What can we do from the side? Anything from the side? Yes, so we can pull the nostrils back. So if we have a look at our nostrils currently, they're quite far forward. So what we're going to do is going to pull them back a bit. So let's just pull them back. Make sure symmetry is activated. There you see. Get symmetry on there. And then we'll just pull them back. There you go. You can pull the nostrils back a little bit as well. Okay, and we want to do something similar with the eye shape here. So again, let's have a look at the actual photographic reference here on our right of the screen. Let's go over to the side, and can we see here that Katie McGrath is a little bit blurry, but it doesn't stick out. The eyelid doesn't sort of bulge out as much as the current character's face that we've got going on here. So the eyelid's actually quite a further bit back. So what we can do is let's mask off the top of the eyes there. Okay, just make sure the other side's got that masked off well enough as well. You don't want anything touching the bottom eyelids. Activate symmetry again. Excuse me. And we're just going to push that eyelid back in, and you could get away with a dirty smooth. Okay, and the smooth's going to naturally kind of bring that forward a bit more. Okay, there you go. Alright, fabulous. Okay, with that done now, I think it's ready to sort of say goodbye to our side views and front views. It's now time to work just using our photographic references. So, a couple of things to do there. Turn the floor off. Make sure you're on perspective mode and go back to draw, and make sure you're using the 85mm focal distance mode. Otherwise, you're going to get a mixed bag of results, and that is not good. Right, okay, so we can keep the eyebrows where they are, because actually, just let me show you, you might be wondering why have we got these cartoony Fortnite eyebrows there. Because if you take them away, it can change things a little bit, okay? And okay, at the moment, we could probably just smooth those eyebrows out a little bit. We don't really need their placements as of yet. But having the eyebrows there really does just help define the character, and you'll probably find that it helps keep the feeling of the character there. Okay, so without eyebrows, it can look a little bit sketchy. So it's a good little landmark to kind of have presence at all times. And of course, feel free to smack the hair back on just to see how it's doing, because it's very difficult to look at a female face that's bald. Honestly, it very much is. Okay, fabulous. So, let's go immediately. We'll jump to our 3/4 view here. Okay, so let's start with this one. It's a little bit more kind of, what can we say, a bit straight on from front. Okay, it's a bit more front on. Oh, I can just see a couple of little issues here. So before we do anything like that, we need to tweak these things here. So you can see it's pretty bad on the other side as well, but there's a lot of hollow areas here above the eyes. I think, yeah, the eyes are kind of a little bit off center, so we're probably going to have to fix them. I think, well, you know what we could do? We could just move them right now. Let's just shove them over. That's fine. Don't worry about it. If there's a bit of a gap there, that's fine. We'll fix it later on. Okay. Actually, I've changed my mind. Let's fix it now. Okay, so let's have a look here what we've got going on. So again, we've got Katie McGrath's eyelids here quite far forward. Okay, now it's probably, I'm going to guess, a different expression to what she's got here. She's kind of got her eyes a little bit more closed there. So what we can sort of do is we'll take a bit of a halfway house. We're going to look at this reference here and just try and ballpark just how far that is then. Actually, let me have a look at these eyes a second. Yeah, they're a bit skewed. That's what I thought. Yeah, they're a bit skewed. Oh, that's okay. Okay, perhaps the eyelids are too far forward anyway. If we have a look at the side view here, you can see, yeah, it's a bit forward, but probably not as much as it is right now. Okay, so let's mask out the bottom eyelids there. We'll keep symmetry on for now. It's fine. Let's soften that mask, and we'll just kind of push the eyelids at the top back a little bit. Just back a little bit. Okay, just something like that. Just so that they're a bit more in line with what you'd expect. Okay, I'm not going to close that gap entirely just yet, because I'm not convinced the eyebrows are at fault so much as probably the eyes are in the wrong position, if anything. But I am just going to take this gap on the inside here. Just gonna, oops, not there. Just gonna pull that. Oh, I can't. It's not enough data, not enough resolution. Just a little bit. Let's pull it back a bit. Okay. All right. Ah, you see, this is where symmetry kind of doesn't help out here. Okay, I will leave my what can we say, the compulsive disorder behind for now. Let's forget about that for now. Right, a couple of things we've got to look at here is we can actually suggest just from the side view here that we've got this quite large dent here right now because we pulled the nostrils back, but Katie McGrath does not have that. So we're going to smooth that area out, and let's bring in our inflate brush. There it is. Okay, and we're just going to restore that area there. So let's again get symmetry going, and let's just restore that area there, just so we've got that kind of bit of that cheek, I guess, fat coming back in there again, right? We don't want to lose that too much. And can we see here that our character is just exaggerated. It's got this curve there. But with Katie McGrath, we've got a kind of a nice cheek there as well. So we need to have to go ahead and put that in. So let's just mask out the mouth a bit, so we don't affect that area. Soften that quite a bit. And let's just go ahead and just put in some cheeks there. Just a little bit. Something like that. Okay, using the inflate brush is a very nice way to get very subtle changes in there that aren't going to be too cataclysmic, let's say. Okay, so that's a nice way of doing things. So just having a look at this, I can see this is quite a straight line here, but we'll be able to infer that a little bit more from the 3/4. Is just looking at the side here, and it looks like she's got quite probably smooth these jowls here. But just around the eyes here, we'll just kind of add them in a little bit and then smooth them out as well. Okay, fabulous. Right, I think let's move on. Let's go to this 3/4 view here. We can sort of see what's going on here. So immediately you can see straight away that our nose shape is slightly off. So she's got quite a round nose. We've got a pointy nose here. So let's go ahead and we'll just inflate that a little bit. Okay, just make it look a little bit more round. You gotta sometimes get the right angle sometimes on there. I'll just deflate the top there a little bit to make the bridge. There we go. And it can be a bit tricky just to get the shape completely right. I've always found it's better to make the nose a bit bigger and then kind of downsize it afterwards. Okay, so don't worry if you end up with a huge nose or something like that. It's not very flattering, but it's a process. It's a process. And just increase the size of her nostrils a bit more. Yep, something like that. Okay, a little bit more there. Okay, fabulous. Right, what else have we got? So we've got these under the eyes here. Can you see we've got this shadow area there? Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll mask off the eyes, keep symmetry on, soften that masking. And what we're going to do is just use the inverse of the inflate brush, and we're just going to just deflate it a little bit around here, just to create a bit more sort of... Oh, hello, ZBrush is not updating. I'm stroking away then. I'm thinking, why is it not changing? ZBrush is having a bit of a laggy day today. Okay, not too much, not too much. And then if you feel like you're doing too much there, then just feel free to restore it by using the inflate tool in the correct area again. So she's got these quite definitive lines there. Who doesn't? Right, you should see me when I first wake up in the morning. I look absolutely awful. I look like death, basically. It's basically an adequate way of describing what I look like when I wake up. Okay, a couple of other little things. We've got this, most likely an issue of symmetry. Let's turn symmetry off. We'll just move that eyelid back up. There you go, smooth it out. Okay, right, so okay, not looking too bad. So at the moment here, we'll just check from this side. We'll try to replicate that angle almost exactly, just to see what we've got going on there. You can see we've got more or less the correct angle. So I would sort of infer from this is that maybe the jowls or the cheeks are a bit too far forward. So I'm going to deflate that quite severely, it would seem. And around here, we've got a bit more of a straighter line here. We've got a bit of a curve in, so that's going to be approximately here. So just inflate that a little bit and smooth it out. Okay, so we're just making minor modifications, and now we'll have to get rid of the eyebrows because we're going to have to check how our character's brows are doing. So let's just mask off the eyes. We don't want to affect them. We'll give her raccoon eyes, and it sees here that it looks like she's got quite a forward brow here, so let's just go ahead and add that in. Again, just use, oh, not that much, perhaps somewhere around here. Again, just use the inflate brush. The inflate brush is a very nice, gentle way to suggest changes and modifications to a face without destroying everything. So it's a good way to do it. And then just a bit more here. I want to add a bit of volume around there. There we go, something like that. Quite soft brows, very soft brows. Okay. Right, another thing I can see as well from this particular angle is that we've got a curve up here and it goes down, up a little bit, down, and then back round. We haven't really got that kind of angle on our nose here, so we're going to have to go to the move tool. And let's just introduce that ever so slightly, make sure symmetry's on. And we're just going to take the edges there and just kind of, maybe even smaller, just kind of push, okay, a little bit bigger, push them in a bit, okay, and then sort of bring back the bridge a little bit so we've got that curvature defined a bit better. Okay, is the mask affecting? Nope, it's not the mask. Okay, just something a little bit like that, and I would sort of suggest from there, let's bring our standard brush out and we'll just add to the brows here a little bit more. Okay, fabulous. Okay, minor adjustments. We're going very slow, but slow is good because it allows us to focus on key parts. Right, what else could we do? I reckon the next part we could do, I think we should work on the eyes a little bit more. Okay, so not so much the actual eyelids themselves just yet. What we're going to do is we're just going to maybe kind of clean out a bit of the eyes here, smooth it out a bit. I just want to get this line here, so I'm going to use my damn standard brush, which she's covering. There we go, bring the intensity way down. And let's go up a slightly higher subdivision level, or actually maybe not, let's come down one, and we'll just draw this line in. Can you see that kind of line just coming across there? We've probably got to mask off the eyelids again, and we'll just draw that line in somewhere down here. We're just trying to make a bit of a mark, we're not trying to make any real definition, we're just making a mark for now. Okay, so something like that. Okay, so you can see there we've got that sort of crease which you could probably carry on now being in a higher subdivision level. Okay, and then maybe just a couple of things up there. We don't want to get carried away with too much of the details just yet. We need the general face form first. Okay, right, okay, I think it's time to finally, well actually I think we'll do one little part. We'll do the lips first and then we'll address the eyes in the next video. Okay, so from the lips, from this angle here, what have we got going on? Well, we can sort of see, I don't think her lips stick out so much as to the current models does at the moment. So I'm just going to use the inflate brush. I'm going to deflate this area a little bit, inflate around their cheeks here, smooth it out. Okay, just I'm noticing a bit of like deflation around here a little bit. Okay, just very gently. I think at the moment I kind of want to almost just really work on bringing that cheek out a bit more, something like that. Okay, right, and so the shape of her lips is slightly different, so let's go to the front and have a look at the shape of her lips, for instance. So again, let's zoom out a bit. So we've got quite a uniform lip here. For what I can infer from this, I reckon symmetry off now. We're going to have to put that down a little bit lower and let's just smooth it out a bit. Okay, and with less of a kind of horizontal ridge here, it's more round at the bottom. So symmetry back on, and we'll just sort of round that out like so. Just change the shape a little bit and smooth it out. Okay, don't worry if you've lost the contours are not important, you can always put them back. And here we're just going to, oh, what's going on here? We've got quite a bit of a crushing point here. Let's smooth that out so we can sort of deal with it a bit more. So to our standard brush here, you can see these lines there, they're going to go on the insides of the nostrils. So about there. Okay, and then let's hollow out the center part there. Okay, and then we're going to have to define where the nose kind of starts, so let's just crush them in. Okay, something like that. We're going to need to jump up an extra resolution, I reckon. So let's use the move brush now. We'll just mask off this bottom part, the nostril, the nose here, and we'll just move them in here, as we can see in her face. Okay, and whilst we've got this, let's use the pinch tool because it's a little bit big at the moment. We'll just pinch it down, fabulous. Okay, and we can also, let's flip the mask and we'll actually pinch this whole bottom area of the nostril down as well. It's quite thin on her face. There we go. So we changed the trajectory of where those lines kind of sit. Now moving back a little bit, let's cheat a bit. We'll go back to our orthographic view and just compare. Right, so we can see there that we've got the mouth. It's kind of low. It's a little bit low at the moment. Yeah, it's seemingly, let's see. Well, actually, that's normally quite low. The nose is a bit high, so this is where we kind of got to figure things out a little bit. Okay, so I do think the nose is a little bit high. So what we're going to do here is let's just bring it down to the lowest subdivision because it's easier to do any kind of large moves that way. Activate symmetry. Let's just mask out the bottom of the mouth there, smooth it out. Let's mask out the eyes so we don't affect the eyes, and I think we need to pull the nose down a bit. Okay, just a bit. Now it's going to be off from the side view now, but I think you'll agree it does have to come down a bit, because if it doesn't, it actually looks like that it's too far away from the mouth. Let's bring fill mode back up. Yeah, that looks a lot more natural. See, the nose was a bit too high before. Okay, it's just little things like that you've got to watch out for. Okay, right, a little bit more. We're going to introduce the trim dynamic brush to the face now. So you can see here we've got quite a round nose. We tried to get that round shape, but perhaps we went a little bit too far. So the trim dynamic brush is going to come in and save the day a little bit. So what we're going to do, we're going to just identify some places there just on the side. We'll just trim dynamic that down. Trim dynamic that down. There we go. I'm not using symmetry, as you can see, because at this point symmetry might have some disastrous effects. Okay. And overall as well, I think before we close this video out, we can see we've got quite a round triangular shape here. We haven't really got that so much here. Okay, so we'll probably have to come in with a standard brush, and we just have to try and make this after ZBrush is finished autosaving, we have to try and make the nose a little bit more of a triangular shape overall. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so you can see it comes out. Don't worry if the nose starts to get too big. Again, we can fix that. It's a very common thing at this stage, don't worry about it. We're just looking for that shape, and then it kind of gets to where the eyes are, and it kind of cuts in a bit. Like that. Okay, and then feel free, we should probably use the inflate brush for this. And then we can see there, smooth it out. There we go. So we've got the shape now. That's the correct sort of shape. We just have to basically amend this now so it doesn't look so big. Okay, so let's just take, there we go. So you see, sometimes you just got to go a little bit further than you would normally, or what looks natural, just to achieve an effect, and then you can kind of scale it back until it looks right. Okay, fabulous. And I think what I can see here as well is that in the center she's got quite a, there we go, just kind of add a bit of a central line down to her nose there. Okay. Right, I don't know about you, but I can sort of feel like I see a little bit of her already in there, although it's very, very early days. There's a lot of features in there that are kind of coming their way. So I'm going to end this video here at the moment, and what I'm going to do in the next video is we'll actually address the eyes and probably fix that all up so we can actually start having a proper likeness to everything.